Mysteries of the Famous Marilyn Monroe, Episode 3.
Marilyn Monroe, Hollywood's brightest star and the cosmic prophecy that chilled the world.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the dazzling, heartbreaking, and downright mysterious life of Marilyn Monroe, a woman who became an icon, and the eerie astrological prediction that seemed to foresee her tragic end. Grab a snack, because this is going to be a roller coaster.
A childhood of chaos.
Marilyn didn't exactly get a fairy tale start. Born Norma Jeane Mortenson on June 1, 1926, in a Los Angeles charity ward, her early life was a mess. Her mom, Gladys Baker, worked cutting film reels at a studio, but was in and out of mental hospitals with schizophrenia. Her dad? No one knows for sure. Some say it was Charles Stanley Gifford, a guy Gladys worked with, but he never claimed her. Norma Jeane bounced between foster homes, 11 by her count, and even spent time in an orphanage. She'd sleep in cramped rooms, sometimes with strangers who weren't so nice. She later hinted at being molested as a kid, saying, "I learned early not to trust too many people." But even then, she had a spark. She'd sneak into movie theaters, staring up at the screen, dreaming of being that glamorous star escaping her lonely reality. That little girl had no clue she'd become Hollywood's biggest legend.
From factory girl to Hollywood hopeful.
Fast forward to the 1940s. World War II is raging, and Norma Jeane's a teenager, married at 16 to James Dougherty. It wasn't love, it was survival. Her latest foster family was moving, and she didn't want to go back to the system. By 1944, James is off at war, and she's working at a factory in Van Nuys, spraying airplane parts. One day, a photographer, David Conover, walks in, snapping pics for a magazine. He stops dead when he sees her. Brown hair, big eyes, a natural glow, even in a greasy jumpsuit. "You're a star," he says. That's it. She quits, signs with a modeling agency, and transforms. Bleach turns her hair platinum blonde, and she crafts that soft, breathy voice. By 1946, she's divorced James, he hated her new dreams, and scores a contract with 20th Century Fox. They rename her Marilyn Monroe. Her first gigs are small, bit parts in movies like Dangerous Years, but she's relentless, studying acting at night, perfecting every move. The studios pay her next to nothing, but she's clawing her way up.
The rise and the fight against the blonde box.
Marilyn's big break hits in 1950 with The Asphalt Jungle, a noir flick where she steals every scene she's in. Then 1953 rolls around, and boom! Niagara makes her a siren, plotting murder with a killer stare. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes follows, with that iconic "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend" number in a pink gown. Pure Marilyn magic. How to Marry a Millionaire seals the deal, and by 1959, Some Like It Hot wins her a Golden Globe. She's the queen of Hollywood. But here's the thing, she hated the dumb blonde label. She was smart, devouring books like Dostoevsky and Freud, scribbling poetry in her spare time. She studied at the Actors Studio in New York with Lee Strasberg, pouring her soul into acting. In 1955, she even started Marilyn Monroe Productions to pick meteor roles, like the raw, emotional turn in Bus Stop. "I'm not a symbol," she'd snap. "I want to be an artist." Hollywood wouldn't budge, though. They wanted the wiggle and the giggle, and it drove her crazy.
Love, a heart full of hope and heartbreak.
Marilyn's love life was a soap opera on steroids. First, James Dougherty, done by 1946. Then, in 1954, she marries Joe DiMaggio, the baseball legend. It's fireworks at first. He's smitten, she's starry-eyed, but he can't handle her fame. That skirt-blowing scene in The 7-Year Itch? He's on set, fuming, and they split after 9 months. She sobbed at the divorce, saying, "I wanted it to work so bad." Next, Arthur Miller in 1956, the playwright with a mind she adored. She called him my rock, but it crumbled fast. She longed for kids. Miscarriages broke her heart. Miller wrote The Misfits for her in 1961, but it felt like he was exploiting her pain. They divorced that year. And the rumors. Frank Sinatra, Yves Montand, even JFK and Bobby Kennedy, her breathy happy birthday to JFK in '62, sparked endless gossip. "Love's the hardest thing I've ever tried," she once said. No kidding.
Fame's heavy price.
Being Marilyn wasn't glamorous behind the scenes. It was brutal. Studios demanded perfection, size 8 curves, flawless skin, that megawatt smile. She'd starve herself on raw eggs and milk, spend hours in makeup, and pop pills to keep up, amphetamines to shoot all day, barbiturates to crash at night. Anxiety ate her alive. She'd pace her room, muttering, "I can't let them down." By the late 50s, she's a wreck, showing up late to sets, forgetting lines, lost in a fog of medication. The Misfits in 1960 nearly broke her, filming in the scorching Nevada desert, fighting with Miller, barely functioning. "I feel like I'm drowning," she told a friend. The press turned cruel, calling her a has-been at 35. Her dream roles, like Cleopatra, slipped away, and the weight of being Marilyn crushed her spirit.
Sydney Omarr. The Stargazer with a Warning.
Now, enter Sydney Omarr, the astrologer who saw trouble brewing in the cosmos. Born the same year as Marilyn, 1926, he went from magic tricks to mastering astrology, becoming Hollywood's go-to guru by the 50s. He wrote columns for the Los Angeles Times, advised stars like Cary Grant, and had a knack for blending science with intuition. When he crossed paths with Marilyn, probably at some glitzy party, he didn't just see a bombshell. He saw a fate written in the stars, and it wasn't bright.
What the stars said.
Sydney dug into Marilyn's birth chart. June 1st, 1926, 9:30 a.m., and it's a cosmic soap opera. She's a Gemini sun, charming, witty, a shapeshifter who lit up any room but couldn't sit still. Her Aquarius moon made her a dreamer, craving freedom, yet emotionally distant. Virgo rising? That's her perfectionism, obsessing over every detail. Then there's Neptune in Leo, ruling her public image, giving her that dreamy, addictive allure, but also dragging her into chaos with addiction and self-doubt. Sydney saw red flags, tense alignments like Mars versus Saturn, signaling inner conflict and outer struggles. He warned of a sudden chaotic end linked to her vulnerabilities. He didn't pin a date, but the stars screamed danger, and it gives me chills just thinking about it.
The final days, a star fades.
1962 was Marilyn's unraveling. She's shooting Something's Got to Give with Dean Martin, but she's a ghost. Sick, missing weeks, propped up by pills. On May 19th, she sings Happy Birthday to JFK at Madison Square Garden. 15,000 people roaring, her in a glittering gown. She's mesmerizing. But backstage, she's crumbling, exhausted, frail. By August, she's in her Brentwood home, a modest place she loved. She's talking about remarrying DiMaggio, planning new projects, sounding hopeful. August 4th, she chats with friends, laughing on the phone. Hours later, she's gone, found dead on August 5th, 36 years old, surrounded by pill bottles. The coroner says probable suicide. But the story's murky. Accident? Murder? Kennedy conspiracies? The truth's still a puzzle, and Sydney's prediction looms large.
The real Marilyn, a heart of gold.
Marilyn was no airhead. She fought Fox for better pay in '55, spoke openly about her fears, and loved her basset hound, Maff, like family. Her shelves held Proust and Milton. She wrote raw, honest poetry. She'd tip waiters double, visit kids in orphanages, and laugh, "If I'm a star, it's because people made me one." She once said, "I'm just a girl who gets lonely." And that vulnerability is what made her real.
A legacy that never dies.
Marilyn's death shook the world. Fans sobbed, headlines blared. Her films, The 7-Year Itch, Some Like It Hot, are classics. Her style inspires everyone from Madonna to TikTok stars. But her story warns us, fame can be a monster. Sydney Omarr's prophecy, cosmic truth or lucky guess, adds a haunting twist. Marilyn Monroe, a star who burned too bright, too fast, and left us all captivated forever.
Now that we've explored Marilyn Monroe's story and her wild prediction, what do you think? How much do you trust the famous astrologer predict your future after a movie? Let me know in the comments. Hello amazing viewers, this is Sarah, your host at Mazoochi YouTube channel. Ever wondered what astrology is and what astrologers do? Well, astrology is about how stars and planets shapes our lives based on their positions when we were born. Astrologers make a chart to predict what might happen or explain who we are, guiding us with these starry signs. Now, you've got something exciting, a thrilling 18-part series. Each episode dives into a famous real-life figure, exploring a jaw-dropping prediction by an astrologer and based on their birth chart, predictions that came true. It's all documented, wild, and mind-blowing. Oh, and one more thing. Astrology has its own supporters and skeptics, and we respect all views. We are just exploring a fun channel to explore the possibilities. Plus, to make these videos even more exciting, we have used AI to amp up the storytelling in a totally captivating way. Let's dive in. Join Mazoochi!